Yo, what's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to the show. It's edition. It's Sunday today. We're gonna jump in, Sunday conversation. So I'm gonna let y'all in a little bit of my world and what it looks like on Sundays and how I spend my time. So, the religious day of the week or the day where people kind of connect and they give their time to the spiritual side. It happens on Saturday and overwhelmingly it happens on Sunday. At least that's been my experience with my family, with my culture, with my community, growing up and in present day to day. So, I take Sundays as a day for me to reflect. I take Sundays as a day for me to engage in some spiritual nourishment, and I take Sundays for me to also get up on my game as far as, learning some things about wisdom, knowledge, cultures, just intelligence. So I understand that that's important for me to kind of decompress from my week. It's also a way for me to start and plan my week and put myself back in the driver's seat, to spur what my Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays are going to look like. And for me to get the motivation for me to participate and give my full attention to the people that I come in contact with, starting this week, and also the work that I have to engage in to start this week. So, and I also try to decompress from any negative music. So, anything that's talking about killing people, disrespecting people, I try to do away with that. um, if I listen to hip hop, I try to listen to conscious hip hop, as well. I incorporate jazz into it. Definitely got to give a shout out to a radio station. I think it's on Spotify, but I know for sure it's on Apple Music, and it's called Selection. Yo, Joe K, and the way he mixes these different songs in. I mean, he's talking about songs from all over the world. So you just get, it's like a cultural hodgepodge of just music, which I'm a music fan. I listen to all types of music. So I love listening to selections on Sundays because it helps me get through my day, helps me plan, sit down. So definitely got to shout out Joe K. And I appreciate you for doing that. I'm a fan. You have no idea who I am, but I just wanted to shout you out because you're working on your craft and you produce this music on Sundays, for us to have throughout the rest of the week. So from one content creator to another content creator, I just want to say, yo, praises, my brother. So I don't think as a community take enough time to kind of sit back and really internally self-reflect. Nor do I think we give enough time and enough effort to the intelligentsia, right, of our side. So that's something that I really find is important, and I really feel like is lacking in our community. I think it'd do us very, very well just for our mental health, for confidence boosters, for us to have a day out the week. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do it Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, but what I'm saying is that at a bare minimum, we have to find ways to be intentional about incorporating time to dedicate to ourselves and our mental development as well as our spiritual development. So, whatever faith or background you're a part of, that's I think that you definitely should take these opportunities to invest in yourself. And that's, typically what I try to do. So what's going on? What do we need to do as a community to get better, man? It's a lot going on right now. It's a lot, unfortunately, in negative aspects. There's positivity going on right now. Now, the positivity, we can shout the positivity out. This is not an indictment on our community, but this is to say, if we're talking about how do we constantly improve, right? You have to identify with the negative. You have to identify the places where we're hurting, right? And then you have to create tools to mitigate that so that we can ameliorate ourselves and our community to become better. And so that's really what this focus is on, and I just want to give you some of those tools for that. So, how do you wake up in the morning? When you wake up in the morning, what do you tell yourself? What are the first words that you tell yourself? How do your thoughts begin to process and manifest themselves, so that you can begin your day? What do you say to your partner? What do you say to the other people that are in your house? What are some of the things that they have going on? When do you tap into their spiritual consciousness or their intellectual consciousness? What type of conversations do you have? And are people around you or even yourself, are you finding yourself in a situation where you're constantly listening to respond, or are you listening to understand? And then do you recognize the difference? How's your emotional intelligence? Where are your emotional blind spots at, which you're gonna have to find from somebody else. And then once you have those conversations with those people, what are the tools that you put forth to work on that and to improve that? And it all starts from when you wake up in the morning and throughout your day, and then before you go to bed, when you reflect at night on how your day and how your time was spent. So, after I wake up in the morning on Sunday, I try to eat something good, eat something that I feel like is going to help power me through my day. So I'm conscious about what are my healthy food habits, even if the rest of the week, right? So this is just tools for you, but I'm taking you through my world. So as I explain this, I may give you something to try to work on. So even as you eat like crap through the week, or I would say even as you eat, but may not eat consciously, right? You can take Sundays to really develop these healthy habits so that you could take what you did on Sunday and then maybe you can incorporate it on Tuesday. Let's say Monday, you know how we feel about Mondays. Let me say this, the way we feel about Mondays too is taught, right? So if you kind of look at kids, they don't really have an association with the day of the week where they're like, I hate this. And unless it's like, no, I would say I'm talking about kids before they get indoctrinated to learn like these particular days mean this and this and that, right? But just kids just wake up and they just wake up ready to go and they wake up happy and they have no concepts of like, oh, well, today is Tuesday or today is Wednesday, unless you get those kids on the schedule. And then once they kind of understand schedule, they're older, but they probably been indoctrinated with some ideals or some narratives that they heard from other people around them or that they may have even heard in the household. So, Mondays being that's blues and all of that's learned. Every day when you wake up, every day is an opportunity to discover something new, to have a conversation with somebody that you didn't have a conversation with, and also to create and make a better version of yourself. I think if you come from the mind state of that you are the creator of your experiences, then whether it's Monday or whether it's Friday, right? We have the power to make those good days. Now, it doesn't negate and say that we don't have bad moments throughout those days, but a bad moment should not overall define your entire day. And that power lies in us to allow that to happen and to not allow that to happen. And so, it's perspective. It's the way you see things and then the way you adopt positive narratives for yourself to help propel you and champion you throughout your time, your engagements, and your interactions on a constant basis. Because that's all, when you look at your whole entire life, that's all the sum of your whole entire life is the experiences that you've had. And then have those experiences been overwhelmingly good or have they been overwhelmingly bad? And those that have been overwhelmingly bad, are you summarizing that they were bad, or were there opportunities for learning? Were there opportunities for growth? It's important how we conclude things in our own minds because we dictate and control our realities. And so that's really just talking about the power that exists in human, the power of mindset, is what I'll say. And so um when you have Tuesdays, when you have Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, all of those Saturdays, I know everybody's living for the weekend, but no, live for Tuesday. And you live for Tuesday by goal setting. You live for Tuesday by determining that you're going to do something new. Today is the day where I go through a new training so that I can develop me a skill set so that I can level up. Like those are the important concepts that we have to dictate, and we have to incorporate those ideals inside of our children. And then we have to incorporate those ideals with the people that are within our immediate circle of influence. If you've been following my channel, I always talk about if we're going to change the world, you first start by changing yourself and then changing the people that's around you in your immediate vicinity. Don't change the world, change your world. Understand? Like that's what becomes impactful because if you're watching this, I'm doing my work, right? Right now, you're in my world and I'm trying to find some way to positively influence you. But you have friends, family, and people that you come and get in contact with every day that I will never ever meet. But if we are trying to build our worlds up together, and then you take this information or you take some other information that you find and try to build that other person up, those domino effects of influence is how we begin to improve our world, and we begin to improve the conditions for our people. It has to be a domino effect, but every individual has the spark to ignite the powers for change and the powers for improvement. And I just said a word and I want to deal with this word very quickly: change. I think when people hear the word change, it can sound heavy, right? It can sound like the person that you've become today has been a whole outgrowth of experiences and has been an outgrowth of what can I say? It's just been an outgrowth of the work that you have put into who you are today did not just happen overnight. It was constant interactions and engagements and doing and not doing that made you who you were. And so when somebody tells you, oh, you need to change, it can just sound like, what exactly are you saying? Like, how much would I need to? What does that work look like? How much time do I have to spend? So I like to use the word improvements or improvement or evolution, like evolve, because you don't necessarily have to alter everything about yourself in order for other people and for yourself, more importantly, to recognize growth. And so I like to tell people to incorporate information or ideals or values that add on to who you are. And when you do enough adding and subtracting, then without saying it, you actually do experience a change, a alteration. And we I think we have to, again, like I said, it's always about reality. It's always about the reality that you paint for yourself. So we have to figure out what words have certain triggers and what words have certain impacts. Because I think once you understand that, and understanding the power of words and how to utilize them and when to use them and when not to use them, it's an art. It's definitely art. You can yield the type of results that you're looking for. So if there is somebody in your life, I just challenge you: if there's somebody in your life and you know that there are some things that they need to work on, when you talk to them about it, try not to use the word change. Or if you use the word change, try to be specific about what they need to change. When you use these broad terminologies, when you use these abstract ideals, then it's hard for people to really grasp and understand, because now you're allowing their perceptions of reality to dictate what it is that you actually mean. But when you give people specifics, and on top of specifics, maybe when you give them exercise or something that they can do where it's measurable and where they can see some type of results over time, then I think we're more apt to incorporate that and do that. So like even today, I'm just talking about Sundays. Sundays, take an opportunity to read and learn something, but I'm saying to specialize on something that is spiritually nourishing, or something that increases your intelligence and understanding for who you are as a person, about your culture, about your religion. Like, I'm trying to give you some specifics to grab onto, to recognize and to see that power and ability of where there are things that are easy. It just takes it takes the importance of starting, of showing up, and you do that from when you wake up. So you see how I kind of took you on a path and I gave you some specific areas to focus on. And so I think that that's a little bit of just how I engage and how I take my Sundays, and you can do that too. Um, And so I appreciate this time with you. I hope that this was motivating as always. This is another House of About 10 production. This is shorter than usual, but I don't want to give you too much. The question I'll leave you with though is how do you eat a whole entire elephant? What's the secret to that? Happy Sunday.